Hi, my name is Heather Mackey. I'm the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today I wanted to talk about eye exchange. What? Ugh. A side note that has nothing to do with eyeballs, it takes forever to grow out your hair. Just constant realization. Every time I shave my head, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a 1,000-year process. That may be indicative that I need to work on patience. So nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised. Back to our eyes. I wanted to talk about various ways I think about exchanging my eyes, like a trade up. And I mean this from the concept of my eyesight to the concept of changing my perception, changing my perspective on an issue. So we'll start with the dense physical realm first, and then we'll go to a more archetypal kind of concept-oriented perception shifting. One of the things I learned through the School of Metaphysics to assist with the improvement of eyesight is something called an eye exercise. This is something I'm actively engaged in with a beloved friend of mine. We're in a 30-day practice where we do an eye exercise and then make a statement, an affirmation, and then spend 5 minutes receiving. The eye exercise definitely is something, like all things, I would say, be ye like a scientist, experiment on your own. Don't take my word for it. There's no greater knowing than knowing through your own experience. As a student of the School of Metaphysics, it was an active practice or an active assignment to do the eye exercise. So I'm going to take off my specs and show you what that looks like. The eye exercise is where you would make a plus sign with the eyes and an X with the eyes. So you would look up, all the way up as high as you can without straining, giving the self a headache or causing pressure. Simply looking up and then look all the way down as far as you can look down without straining or causing pressure. This is not an exercise to hurt the self. All the way to the left, all the way to the right. Usually you would keep your head stationary. All the way upper left corner, lower right corner, upper right corner, lower left corner. So you will make a plus and an X with your eyes. I had a negative 4.25 prescription. Yikes. This broad doesn't want to see something. Something in the future, apparently, because I'm nearsighted. But I had a negative 4.25 prescription. And my prescription, I used to do that eye exercise as a student at the School of Metaphysics on the regs. And my prescription is now a negative 3.5 in one eye and negative 3.25 in the other. And that has, that shift happened in my eyesight in my late 20s when I attended the School of Metaphysics. I did the eye exercise and it improved my eyesight by quite a bit. And that effect has remained true to this day with these 45-year-old eyeballs. I still have a better prescription as a result of doing that exercise. So eye exercise is a really great way if you're experiencing the need for correction of your perception. We're going to talk about this in two forms today. But if you need correction of your perception, eye exercise is one way to strengthen the eyesight, to heal the eyes. Just even holding awareness of your eyeballs being filled with green light, luminescent, healing, heart chakra colored green light for a few minutes a day, I believe will also make this correction. And it's one of the things I'm working with. Eye exercise and seeing my eyeballs is full of green light because I was diagnosed with macular degeneration. And my eye doctor, humans are so funny and I love them so much. My eye doctor was like, you have macular degeneration. And I was like, oh, at least I don't have cataracts. That's a word I hear a lot. And he was like, I'd rather you had cataracts. I'm like, I love it when people want things for me that I don't want. This is fun. But he was like, cataracts can easily be solved. Heather, macular degeneration, you can't solve. And I was like, ooh, I did get the better of the two because I'm going to heal my eyes and I'm going to have a future appointment with you where you go, I don't understand it. It's completely reversed. And I'm going to go, I know the physical world isn't real. So that's a fun experiment. That's a fun science experiment I'm doing with myself. You also can experiment with your eye improvement ocular capacities in this realm. And in an eye exchange, so that's where we're literally trading up our physical eyes. We're saying, actually, I don't have to be locked into this idea that the physical realm is static It seems really dynamic to me. It seems like it's full of change. So change is the only thing that we can expect on the daily. It's change is the change is the one law. It's like we can all expect change in our lives. So because of that, it's viable that we have the propensity to change our physical reality, which is mostly what I'm talking about. Mostly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I had a dream last night. I had a couple of really cool dreams, but one of them involved a lot of birds, a hawk, a crow, a golden eagle. So let's talk about that, because another way I work with my perception is trusting nature to get me where I want to go when I can't see the way or I don't know. So in the dream, I noticed a hawk baby was carried off by a crow. These are both power animals I work with, as well as eagle. And I thought, I better go get that hawk out of that crow's mouth. I bless and love and protect all these birds. And so I stood in the center of a street and just said, I'll wait on my birds to show me what direction to go. And a crow flew straight for my face, up over my head, and in the direction. And then a golden eagle launched towards me in the same direction of the crow, showing me which direction to go. And he landed in the street, and I was able to run up alongside him and be like, what's up, eagle? Oh my God, I love you. Really exciting to connect with crow and eagle. Of course, I awoke to a crow in the tree over my house cawing at me. I was like, thanks for the dream, buddy. But this is another way we can awaken, enliven, exchange, offer our eyesight to expand beyond the paradigm of our individual vessel, is to offer your eyes to be extended beyond your physical body, but to be inhabited by Mother Nature. My eyes don't know the way to go. I certainly know that crow does, or eagle, or hawk, or one of my power animals. I know that the wind will blow in the direction I need to go. So turning to Mother Nature and allowing your eyesight to expand to something beyond you, aiding you in the correct direction or the correct path to take. That is something one can do. Another thing I do, which is, there are lots of strange things I do, which I see as like active shamanic practice, because those practices literally involve a bridge between the spiritual and physical world. So one of the things I do is rotate my eyes. So if I'm sitting and ruminating on something negative, if I'm stuck in a judgment, if I'm feeling angry because somebody came in and presenced the non-truth, and that tends to make me angry, like, why are we doing falsehood? Let's get honest, let's get clear. And that can cause me to get into judgment, which then moves my vessel from the frequency I want it to be in and adopts this alternate frequency of false perception. So I will literally just take my hand and visualize my eyes spinning. Like I'll go like this and then see my eyes go in my head. It's kind of moving between the realm of the etheric, imaginative, kind of spiritual concept of sight to the physical realm. So I'm like, these need to be exchanged. And I will have this experience of like, okay, I'm spinning my eyeballs in my head. Now I have clear sight. We're not gonna think about that anymore, because that was just me ruminating and falsehood. I don't choose that for my path. So I do that a lot when I'm driving. I'll just realize like I'm ruminating on thoughts that don't serve or bear fruit or aren't really where I want to stand, and I'll go, oh, okay, perception's needed. Perception shift done. The biggest eye exchange I believe one can do, and the place that we're going to conclude on this topic, is to exchange one's perception for one that bears greater fruit, serves to a higher degree, offers the most, and is in greater alignment with the truth of one's frequency. I believe that the truth of our frequency is the light of love, the light of truth. I think that's neutral. I don't think it's good. I think it just is. And I think that we're in a dualistic realm, which offers the darkness of falsehood and shadow and false evidence appearing real, or fear-based consciousness. And that duality is a gift. We tend to want to judge it and be like, only I've done this. I can't speak for you, but I'm just like, love and light, love and light. And as I've stated before, Madre Ayahuasca showed me, like, child, you're not neutral if you don't embrace shadow. And we've been talking a bit about embracing shadow. So I don't want to say that when our perception goes dark or negativistic, that doesn't serve. It is a harbinger of where it is we're building walls to the awareness of love's presence. You can think right now and probably list for yourself all the different ways in which you are choosing more fear-based consciousness about yourself, about your home and your family, about your world, about the way people operate. We all have in us some of that separatist, divisive, fear-based consciousness that does not hold our sacred Mother Earth, our beloved home, our steward to our legs and the places that we roam. We all have the ability to hold this in a light that bears weeds instead of fruits and meeting our needs. So, the greatest exchange I believe that we can offer, not only ourselves, but the world, because it is a web. The World Wide Web shows us the connectivity and unification. Phones started to show us the unification and connectivity. There are many ways that the concept of the web of connectivity is present, but even subatomic unification would be one of those webs that speaks to unification being present, as well as collective consciousness, if we want to go psychological terms. So then it becomes very important that we be stewards of the perception we hold, of the eyes that we choose as a prize to witness our world and our life with. And we know if you have siblings, I was blessed with two, but if you have siblings, you get this opportunity to kind of see, me and both of my siblings have had experiences, and all three of us have a different take on what happened. We can be retelling stories, and one of my siblings will be like, that's not what happened, this is what happened. And they'll be like, no, it was like this. And we can see that, like, wow, the fact is one thing happened. The result is three people saw it differently. So we know that it's easy to perceive beyond the facts of what is occurring. And it can be easy to judge or to use one's perception to pick apart any given experience in a different way. So this day I'm inviting myself, I'm inviting you to join me in this constant medicine practice of wellness and health. Aside from having healthy eyes to see, choosing healthy perception as the prize that you be. How do you perceive the world in healthy, loving ways? How do you perceive the earth? Do you perceive her as something that has the strength to heal in the same way that you might have the strength to heal if you fell ill? How do you perceive your brethren? How do you perceive humanity? Are there any places you find that your perception of humanity is based in separation or judgment or righteousness? For me, it's not about this particular way of being or that particular way of being is the way of being. And really, life comes down for me to allowing. Can I allow for other people to grow? Can I allow for them to be in a state of growth? And I ask myself this in deep ways. If I have difficulty with a friend, right now I'm having a miscommunication still, and I think, oh, can I allow them to get frustrated? Can I allow them to not understand me? Can I allow a miscommunication to happen? Can I allow them the right of their feelings? Can I allow them to feel the way they feel? Or do I need them to just always be in harmony with me? Can I allow myself to get angry? Can I allow myself to get angry without judgment? Can I understand that anger may come from a root emotion like sadness that needs to be expressed? What freedom do we allow ourselves in our perceptions? So number one, I don't want to vilify negative perception. Sometimes it can be an evoker and an awakener to hey, you have chosen to play sinkhole with life in your consciousness, and you're just sinking into this very rooted separatist system. And it gives us an opportunity to awaken and come back to unification, which is the foundational tenet of how life operates here subatomically in our sea of emptiness. How would you like to exchange your eyes this day? Any ways that you would like to upgrade your actual sight, but also your perception and the way that you work with what is right? Is it wrong for things to grow in order to know? Something to think on today. Bless you and your eyes and the way you perceive everything you see. Blessed be.